All right, what's up, folks? Welcome to Foreign and Domestic. It is good to be here. Good to see everyone up in the side chat. Apologies for last week. Some of you may know I'm having a little bit of issues with my back, so took last week off. But good to be back and good to see everyone out there. And Alan, get us started off right, brother.
Little technical difficulty. Hang on.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you, sir. How you doing, man?
Well, currently, if I'm looking at this right, it's 95 degrees with a real feel of 106. I am sweating my balls off. Being how I just don't even, as some of you know, I don't have air conditioning. So yeah, I'm having a great time. Yeah, I may or may not be on most of the time on the mic simply because, well, I've got my fans off in order to do this right here, and that's not very pleasant. But according to the YouTube participants out there, we got the CW here in the room, but Edward Petty, Gizzard Gary, Gunpowder Beauty, he say, we got a Nicholas family out there. New York Outcast, all one guy, Ozzy Osbourne, the Tactical Fudd, Uncle Jim, and of course, the ever most famous YouTube auditor, Go Eat a Bowl of Dicks.
Awesome. Hillbilly, how you doing, man?
Muted.
Oh, he's pulling a hillbilly.
Had that same technical difficulty I did earlier.
Of course I had it muted. Oh boy. Doing great, buddy. Yeah, warm here today too. But we got some family and grandkids and stuff outside doing a little swimming and stuff. So I'll try to be on here as long as I can, but we get a grandkid busting through the door yelling "Papa," I may have to go out. So, but enjoying life, brother.
Awesome, man. Good deal. Daniel, how you doing, man?
Hey, I'm still alive. Just taking care of family stuff going here, looking around what's going around the country and just getting everything prepped up as good as I can and taking care of what I can and what I can't. Oh, well, but hey, thanks for having me on tonight. And side chat, don't bore me. I want to see some smack talk out there. Later.
CW.
Hey, thanks for the invitation. So I took a ride to the shore last night, and I was sitting in a little seafood joint bar area. They got bands on the weekends and stuff. And over the intercom, they announced that Trump had been shot. And I was very, very happy to hear, of course, that he was okay, but happy to hear the overly unanimous sounds of, unacceptable behavior from the entire crowd of probably, 150 people. It set the tone for the rest of the night down there, and everybody was talking. And it was surprising because this is not a red state. I'm in Connecticut. It's very liberal. And everybody down there was if they weren't pro-Trump, they were keeping their mouth shut and fudging it really good because it was unanimous, the sentiment. So yeah, it was really good to hear. And today we spent out on the boat, so I was away from all social activity, so I didn't hear what's going on. But I'm sure it's running rampant, and it's going to be for the next 4 or 5 days. We're going to be hearing all kinds of stuff. So, but I just wanted to share that because it was really good. It's something I didn't expect at all. Just every walk of life, people. It's a seafood place down on the shore, and I didn't hear a single comment to the negative about Trump.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's, it's sad that it takes things like this for people to come together, but seeing the people come together makes a big difference. So that's cool. Jamie, how you doing, man?
Better than I deserve. Thanks for having me, man. We've been watching a whole lot of Fox News and Newsmax and that kind of stuff. I guess everybody is at the moment, but lots of news. Hopefully, the country will be united better than it is now, anyway. So, thanks for having me. Let's have a good chat tonight.
Awesome, man. Good to see you. Val, how you doing, buddy?
I'm hanging in there. Thanks for having me. Thanks for inviting me. I just want to ask Alan, was AC not invented in Iowa yet, or do we need to start a GoFundMe for him or something like that to keep him cool? I don't understand what the issue is. On the other hand, I actually just came from state of Pennsylvania. I wasn't all the way in a Butler or whatever the hell it was, but obviously the yesterday's news was a big talk around the shooting competition as well.
Good to have you, man. Mark, how you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Just trying to stay out of this hot weather. We haven't seen any rain in a few weeks either. My neighbor next door decided to get out yesterday evening, mow his yard. And when I woke up this morning about 7 o'clock, I looked outside and his yard had already turned brown. It's just been that hot and dry here. And it's good to see everybody. Good to see everybody over in the side chat. Thank you for the link, Scotsman.
Absolutely. Gary.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate the link.
Absolutely, man. Good to have you on.
Thanks.
So we'll dive right into it because it's going to be the hottest topic we got. But obviously, we all know what happened. So, Daniel, we'll start with you, man. Your thoughts?
Well, come on, guys. I've been saying this for a few months that there was going to be an attempt on, if not the complete assassination on Trump for the last few months. And the other side just keeps pushing and pushing and pushing. You take a look at what Biden went and put out on a tweet. I can bring it up here and read it verbatim. Let's bring it up here. From Joe Biden, Donald Trump is a genuine threat to this nation. He's a threat to our freedom. He's a threat to our democracy. He's literally a threat to everything American stands for. They are going after Trump for January 6th, and he was out there trying to cool it off. Offered Pelosi the National Guard before anything even happened, and she turned it down. But the media and everything is here now trying to put this over and demonize Trump because after he got shot, and the Secret Service, he's on up there telling his force, raising a hand and said, fight, fight, fight. The man just literally got shot, and they're demonizing him, saying, he's escalating it. No, I'm sorry. It was already escalated by our current commander-in-chief. And Scotsman, we were discussing this earlier. He put out statements even before this that was even more volatile and would get somebody fired up. And you know how these little 20-somethings are today. participation trophies. If they don't get what they want, they throw a little fit.
Oh, and that's it. There was a statement out there from him that it was, time to put the debate behind them and put Trump in the bullseye. So there's that too.
Well, here's the latest thing from the Instagram, some of the photos, and basically what it says is, my name is Jonathan Willis. Jonathan Willis. I'm the officer in the famous photo of the two snipers on the roof at the Trump rally. I came here to inform the public that I had the assassin in my sights for at least 3 minutes, but the head of the Secret Service refused to give the order to take out the perp. 100% the top brass prevented me from killing the assassin before he took the shots at the President Trump. I did not follow the orders to. As soon as the shooter opened on Trump, I returned fire despite strict orders not to engage. I had eyes on the shooter for 3 minutes, watching him fiddle with his rifle, adjust the scope. It was obvious he was the shooter, yet I wasn't allowed to engage. After I killed the shooter, I was arrested, questioned by the FBI, and just released an hour ago. Already lost my job for not following the orders, but I'm glad I took the shots anyway. So that's actually something that Shooter Rui posted. That's a guy. I don't know if you remember that he's a former Marine. He disarmed some of the Antifa rioters back in Seattle that broke into a cop's car and were running around with some ARs. So he got a little famous by that. So that's posted. He posted on Instagram a little while ago. So I guess there's gonna be developments in this case. I mean, there's something definitely iffy about the whole situation.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of figured he was told not to shoot because you could see in the videos that he was on target, sitting there. So I'm not surprised.
So they could have saved that fireman from Pennsylvania who got his family down on the ground, and he laid on top of them to protect them, and it cost him his life to protect his family.
Now, just a second, everybody. Just a second. For the YouTube auditor, let me tell you, this is just the information that we were reading all over the place. If you interpret this as misinformation, then go to the source that is being noted. This is not us creating misinformation. Go eat a bowl of dicks.
Yeah. And where I got the thing about the fireman, that came from the governor of Pennsylvania, who called that man a hero.
I mean, I'm not a sniper. I'm not a law enforcement. I'm none of that. But I'm pretty sure the two counter sniper guys on top of the roof, they were scanning far beyond 150 yards. But then again, there were not that many rooftops. So they would notice the guy dressed in black or dark clothes on top of the white roof fairly easy and fairly fast. I would think so. So not to mention there were people pointing out a couple of minutes before the shooting, oh, there's a guy on top of the roof. So they definitely knew about him. They could have blamed it on a chain of command, by the time it got to the actual sniper. But I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking if I'm a freaking sniper for a Secret Service, I'm taking out anybody with a goddamn gun in a 500-yard radius, that's not supposed to be there. So that's just, what I'm thinking. But letting the guy on top of the roof within 150 yards of the former president and new presidential candidate, I mean, somebody somewhere definitely dropped the ball, or they basically just wanted it to happen, which wouldn't surprise me either. I mean, to be honest, I'm surprised it took this long. Some of this actually happened. I mean, supposedly there were numerous attempts on his life while he was a president, but nothing was public like this. So who the hell knows? I mean, I don't think a 20-something-year-old snowflake just woke up one morning, decided I'm going to go and take out the president. I mean, just the logistics of of doing something like this and being able to get in the position and all that. Never mind the actual shot. I mean, it's a fairly easy shot at 150 yards with the AR or whatever he was using, you know, and he basically missed him by an inch or two. So that's, you know, if he wasn't sighted in properly, a little wind, a little something, that could have thrown him out, or maybe Trump just moved his head in the last split second.
It's 150 yards. That's a chip shot. That ain't nothing. That's
Yep.
a putt.
Somebody said they missed him by an error.
And yes, we don't know anything for sure. What we can go by is what we interpret as individuals, and these are our opinions. YouTube, these are our opinions, and the fact of the matter is that professional snipers are not trained to take headshots, specifically at nearly any range. This would have been a mass area body shot, because the fact of the matter is somebody can move their head pretty quickly, and somebody can turn their head and take it out of the line of sights. Now, as for the Instagram comment, who knows? That could be anybody. Yet, I'm not going to dismiss that in any way, shape, or form. If you watching the videos, you can see that both the sniper and his spotter, which was also on what appeared to be the same style of rifle the sniper was on, was both solid on glass on something. They weren't scanning, they weren't moving, they were solid on glass.
Yeah, that's the thing, and you can see the movement between the sniper himself and his spotter. You can see them, and you can definitely tell that something's not right. But here's the short of it, and this is how it always goes. When with stuff like this, we'll never know the truth, because you know as well as I do that. And this is not misinformation, YouTube, just so you know. This is actual information. They'll cover it up like they always do. That's how they do it. And we'll be fed some BS through the news like we have been the last day and a half so far. And they'll just keep on feeding the lies, man. I mean, it was only within 2 hours of it happening, they were already screaming AR.
Yeah, I heard it was an AR-like weapon.
You see the CNN headline?
Yeah, almost immediately. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
one thing
we see every time with stuff like this.
One thing I've seen.
Sorry, go ahead, Mike.
I'm sorry, buddy. I was just gonna say one thing I've seen today that is kind of, which I guess is normal. I shouldn't be surprised about it, but a few different companies, nationwide companies or whatever, maybe even worldwide, had posted something on X saying, that, it's not right, for anybody, for this to happen to any, president or, whatever. And basically just making a statement, glad that he's okay, prayers for the family, blah, blah, blah. Just, basically a good general statement. And some of the hate comments that followed that, like, I will boycott your business, I'll never use you again, I'm thinking, in my opinion, this is what's wrong right here. I mean, just total hate for a company just to come out and making, more or less a statement that, most people, or companies should make, that this is just not acceptable, regardless of who it was.
Right, and there's tons of different posts out there from the far left as well about too bad they missed, we almost had it, and all kinds of different things out there. It's just crazy.
Have you been looking at some of those tweets and TikToks of these far left? I mean, just coming unglued, putting out these videos. They're insane.
Yeah, I saw one girl was screaming up top of her lungs like we almost had it, and how could you miss, and all kinds of stupid shit.
Yeah, that's definitely disgusting, especially since you got innocent life lost, and you got 2 more fighting for their lives. It's just I mean, I'm not a big fan of Obama or Biden, but doesn't mean I wish somebody would just get rid of him like this. This is if for nothing else, you gotta have a respect for the actual position of president.
Hey Chuck, what's going on, buddy?
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Oh, Chuck.
Been a while. Thanks for having me on, Scotsman.
Absolutely, man. Good to see you. How's it going up there?
Oh, it's like a rain. So I'm stuck inside, which is okay. I need to finish organizing all this reloading stuff.
How's the family?
Doing good. They're doing good. So, just 2 little kids running around being crazy kids.
Oh. Did you take the little kids out to that cliff where they were driving the Barbie car off and the old police cars and the school buses and the RVs?
Not this year, but I have shorts on my channel from last year's event. It's really crowded. You talk about 12,000 people in a place that can't hold 12,000 people. 12,000 like I'm from the South, like many of you, and that's the most drunk rednecks I've ever seen in my life. So I ain't gonna lie.
When the sun is out 24 hours and it don't get dark enough for fireworks,
I know. There you go. I will say we went the year before. I thought it was fun. I got some good footage of the cars jumping off the cliff. There's one the year before. There's one American flag car that jumped off the cliff. They launched that thing, and I got a good video meme, if you will. It said my paycheck during the Biden economy, and it's just crashed at the bottom. So it was good stuff. Like it was it's a lot. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, but it's one of those things I can only really go to like once. You got the picture. Okay, so but yeah, what's going to happen next year is interesting. The river. So there's the cliff there, and it's right next to the Matanuska River. I believe it's the Matanuska River, and that river is pretty fast and white watering right there. And everybody, all 10,000, 12,000 people are sitting right on this like rock ground area that's just on the side of the river, and the cliff's up here, and like the river changed course and it's taken half of that area out, so that it might be the last year they ever have it. So this year. So
see, the reason I asked, my daughter was up there and she sent me a bunch of video of it, so she got to see it. So if it is the last year, good on her. She got to witness something.
Yeah, and it's huge. There were food trucks there that people were still like an hour in line after the last car jumped. Like people were just doing that. So it is what it is.
So Chuck, what's your thoughts about what's going on, man?
I mean, it's not going to change me writing in Rand Paul, but it's I just I don't want to see anybody shot or hurt or killed or anything like that. And but it's 100% an inside job by the Secret Service. How do you not secure a rooftop 150 yards away from your person you're supposed to protect, your liege? How do you do that? How do you not secure that? Any one of us would have had binoculars on that. If it was, I don't even know if I know everybody in the chat or everybody in the room here, but any one of you, I know if you're a friend of Scottman's, you would have had binoculars on that rooftop and would have known exactly when that guy had crawled up it. Anybody in here? So
I think even Gomer Pyle and Barney Five would have covered that.
I would have had my men on that rooftop, at least one.
yeah, I know. And it's like, you know, and I make no qualms about it. I don't like Trump. I will not vote for somebody who advocates red flag laws. Sorry if that makes me not a patriot. Like I won't do it. I make no qualms about it, but it doesn't mean I want to see him shot. You know, so like we can disagree. Like I'm going to write in a third party candidate or a third person. Scotsman, I'll probably write you in. Give me your full name and address so I can write you in. But like I'm just not going to do it. But like you can't go around just shooting people because you don't agree with them. And I guess, you know, all the liberals that say, "Oh, well, he missed," you know, well, it's like they're sad because he missed. I'm like, well, you know, we're kind of sad that Stairs missed, but whatever, you know, get over it. It's not life.
Yeah,
No, that's my take on it from the conservative libertarian perspective. I guess it's like
there's a lot of things that went into play. I also saw that there was a cop that went up the ladder to the roof, and the supposed shooter turned around, saw him, and pointed the gun at him. So they knew he was there.
Oh yeah,
100%, absolutely knew. And you know, I agree with you 100%, man. It was definitely an inside job. And
Yep.
you two, back to our opinion, whether you like it or not, that's our opinion. We're allowed to have it. So.
Oh yeah, somebody was getting paid for the Secret Service. Like, no ifs, no ands, no buts. Somebody was getting paid at the Secret Service. Sorry, I was looking for my reloading data.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Backwoods. Not that they hired the 20-year-old, but they knew there would be an incident, especially with all that inflammatory stuff coming from the left. But it was, how could they not see the guy, have the scope on him, and then not take him out, waiting to get confirmation for the clearance to shoot?
Right. And that's the other thing too. You know, if you're in that kind of position, you swore an oath to protect the president or former presidential candidate. Whether your orders don't shoot or not, you should just shot anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's a clear shot. It's we know exactly, you know, what it is. And you know, I put a meme up today on Instagram. One of the person goes, okay, well, you try to run 200 yards, climb a ladder, belly crawl across the roof. You're probably going to be a little less accurate than you think you are. I know my fat butt would be out of shape, but still, it's like almost any deer hunter could have taken that shot. You know what I mean? It's like,
oh yeah, it was 142 yards, man. 142 yards.
Yeah, I've heard differing things, everything from 130 to 153. So that's right in the middle. But yeah, like, how do you, 100?
I saw a picture of it, and it was 400 meters, which ends up breaking down to 142 yards.
400 meters, 400 feet.
142 or 153 doesn't really make a whole lot of difference. You can still hit a guy in the head fairly easy
with iron sights. Like at that distance, a good rifleman should be able to hit a guy in the head with iron sights. Like, you know, maybe not like somebody who hasn't practiced with iron sights, but for like most people that were infantry, which I was not, I'm not a military guy, but like most people that were infantry or, you know, trained on some type of iron sight or even a red dot sight, that should have been an fairly easy shot, you know. But again, how many of you have, you know, crawled across a hot roof in the summertime and tried to shoot? Like, you know, with your adrenaline going, it is totally different. So,
well, like I said, he almost got him with the first shot. The follow-up shots were like, you know, just adrenaline.
Right.
If you don't know what you're doing.
Trump moved his head at the wrong time, right?
Yeah,
the right time. Right time, excuse me.
Chuck,
it's
how
like
far do you have your hunting rifle? What do you have your hunting rifle zeroed at? What distance?
my main hunting rifle is zeroed at 300, and all my secondaries are zeroed at 100.
Yeah, 300
So
yards.
Yep,
Yeah,
300 yards.
I don't have that far to shoot, so mine's only zeroed at 200 yards.
It's a fair zero. I in my 7 mag, which is my main hunting, my reticle, I could take account for wind and drop in my reticle out to 1,076 yards, just in my reticle. I don't have to dial anything. So
My point about this is they're supposed to have the area cleared out to 600 to 800 to 1,000 yards to prevent any type of sniper. It's
exactly.
like, really, 142 yards? You let a sniper get on top of a roof?
Well, let's not call the guy a sniper, okay? He's far away from the
Yeah,
sniper.
that's an honorary military term.
He's targeted as a sniper. He's a wannabe. You have a bad guy on a roof, 142 yards, with a gun, and you got a former president, the leading opposition runner, and they're that close. I'm sorry, it don't smell right.
Oh, 100%. I mean, kudos to the counter sniper team and the actual Secret Service jumping on the president right away and shielding them and all that. I think they did an excellent job on that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. They did a great job of shielding him. I honestly thought they were a little slow though. Like from what I saw, I was in the bathtub taking a bubble bath when it happened. I ain't gonna lie. And one of my viewers texted me. I was like, "Oh, really?" I'm like, "Okay." And it's just like, did they ever say what type of rifle?
They just keeps coming up with a AR type that I've heard.
I heard 5.56 today.
Yeah, the speculation of it being an AR rifle on top of the main caliber in an AR style rifle is 5.56.
Right.
We haven't gotten definitive information. We have actually been told exactly what Secret Service rifles were being used, precisely what Secret Service rifles were being used, but not the shooter themselves.
Even the fact that that Secret Service rifles are suppressed, even that was mentioned. So, and it sounded to me like he was shooting suppressed as well. Maybe that's why the shots were a little no, not as loud.
Okay,
think you maybe
anybody
didn't
here
account
have
for
a
the-
5.56?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I've seen a couple different videos and from different angles, and in the first video it sounded like it was suppressed, and the other couple videos it didn't sound like it was. So hard to tell for sure.
Yeah,
5.56. If it hits meat, I mean, even the ear, it's going to take more than just a little nick off the ear.
I would agree, except for if it's a extremely well-made Full Metal Jacket type round. If it's a penetrator like M855 or M855A1, that's all it's going to do is make a hole.
What about the shot?
Like if it were a VMAX, yeah, there'd be pieces of bullet in his brain. But if it were some type of penetrating bullet and it goes right along here, it looked like to me from the photo that he actually had like a bullet groove along the cheekbone here and then the ear. So,
well,
kind
as far as suppressed, we also, most of us are all, do video stuff. And we also know that, phone camera or any camera, the microphone's going to bring that level down, of the shot,
Right, and it's going to distort it and make it sound different than what it actually is.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And even a regular gunshot sounds way softer than it really is on a camera phone or any other type of phone camera. So
yeah, one of the main reasons why we can even hear as much of the registry of the projectile as we can is because of how close the projectiles were going to the microphones at the podium.
that makes sense.
Right.
So the big question is, do you think they'll try it again? Think they could get away with it twice?
Well,
because it's an inside job. It's deep state inside job somewhere. Somebody got paid off to be on, to make sure that guy was up on the roof. Now I don't think that guy was hired. But what's that?
I said absolutely, and here's the other thing too. So they've already been called. The head of security has already been called to Congress, but again, that's going to be a show. We all know all these times that they call people up, it ends up just being a show. Nothing ever happens.
Right.
You'll see all kinds of videos of them chewing their ass off, saying this, that, the other, but nothing will happen.
Oh, I agree.
Well, when I seen somebody had
Well, I saw a couple of
No, I personally found it very, very appalling that when Joe Biden got up to make his first announcement, that he did not even call it an assassination attempt. He wasn't willing to even call it an assassination attempt. He actually avoided the question, stating, "Oh, well, we don't know what's going on yet." Of course it was a fucking assassination attempt, you goddamn derelict generic. Yeah. I mean, just appalling, that he wouldn't have called it an assassination attempt from the get-go.
I get what you're saying, and it is appalling that that, but given all of the statements he has made out of reference and out of frame that ended up being mistakes later, that even his own side admits ended up being mistakes later, he probably wasn't willing to say those words yet when they don't even know what had happened except for some cell phone footage that made it look like that, So I don't really fault him for that. His handlers are probably doing a good job. What I fault him for is he didn't say like our thoughts and prayers and everything. Like he didn't call on the American people to pray or think or thoughts and prayers and that kind of thing. And even Obama was good enough to do the stuff like that, So even if something had happened, he was, even Obama. That's what I find appalling is just like he just got up there and just a doofus and said there was an incident, But 10 minutes, 20 minutes after that, we all knew. And they should have known too, but I find it appalling that he didn't call for unity and coming together, and that this is a thing in that this is an affront to our democracy and all that kind of stuff. Everything they call Trump, they weren't willing to call out the shooter. They that's what I was offended by the most. Like I don't care that he didn't call it a assassination attempt right away, because how many times has he said the wrong thing? You know what I mean? But I do care that he didn't call for thoughts and prayers, and we're investigating it as hard as we can, and we'll make sure our whole team is on it, that kind of thing. At least blow smoke up my ass there. At least blow the bullshit.
I was really surprised he didn't take that time to say this, we need more gun control, to be honest with you.
Oh, they're trying now.
Yeah, it'll come in the coming days. Usually, they're not gonna scream about it on the first day. Usually they'll come out Monday, Tuesday. There'll be plenty of it.
If Trump is reelected, he will use this to do something with gun control. Mark my words, because he used the Michigan and what was it, the Indiana and the Michigan shooting or whatever it was. I forgot which States, but he used that to call for red flag laws. So, I mean, either one of these guys wins, we have a senile old guy who wants to have gun control. Like, so it's like you win some, you lose some. But like, you know, don't get me wrong, Trump's way better than Biden. But like, it's he still will probably use this incident for gun control. I mean, look at Reagan and the Brady bill. I mean, that was used against him. Reagan got the Hughes Amendment, you know, not to, you know, because of the Reagan, if the assassination of Reagan attempt, if that guy had a, you know, fully automatic weapon, Reagan would have been dead, and several people around him. And you know, he didn't, and so they got Reagan to, you know, pass the Hughes Amendment to the what was actually a good bill, but before they were done with it, they did that. So mark my words, if Trump is presented with the opportunity by, you know, rhinos in Congress, he'll side with the rhinos and, you know, be like, hey, yeah, I don't want another attempt on my life, and try to sign on for more gun control. And that's not what most conservatives want to hear. I know.
I gotta point this out. Yeah, backwoods. Kind of curious why you see them there, but maybe it has something to do with him being a former president, even though yes, that detail is supposed to be dedicated to the current president.
Well, and from what I heard, there was 2 different sniper teams there. That was just the one that we saw on the video, but there were supposedly 2 different sniper teams.
All right. So, does anybody else find it odd that in the last 2 months there was an Iranian president that mysteriously died in a helicopter crash? Prime Minister of Slovakia, there was an assassination attempt on him as well. The guy fired 5 shots out of the pistol at a close proximity, and his protection detail failed completely, but he wound up surviving. There was another assassination attempt, I think, president of Serbia or some other country, and all these, well, at least like Slovakian prime minister, he was like really pro-Russian, pro-Putin, anti-sending troops to Ukraine and sending them more guns, and so. Biden wants to end the war in Ukraine ASAP. You know, I don't know what the Iranian president had with that, but you know, it's like kind of iffy. You got CIA was really busy the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. Well, the Iranian president, Iran is a ally of Russia. They're the eye. Well, they're not the eye in the BRICS, but they want to be. You know, they've sold drones and maybe ammunition to Russia, if I remember correctly. So it seems like everybody who's they think is pro-Russian. I don't think Trump's pro-Russian. I think he's pro-American. Like me, it is extremely wrong to invade your neighbor, even if your neighbor is fairly corrupt. All right, like Putin is doing the wrong thing. This war is wrong, and it's totally Russia's fault, in my opinion. As much as I've studied, howsoever, that doesn't mean we should agree with everything that the good guys in that war are doing, or that we should be funding a foreign war. All right, there's differences. Like we should just say, hey, Ukraine will never join NATO, and they can lease Sebastopol to you, the naval base at Sebastopol to you for the next 100 years. Okay, give them their land back. And the peace is there. Like, you know, it should be an easy peace. But I think that's been rejected by Putin. But it seems to me like everybody they think is associated with Putin has had a attempt on their life. Everybody but Xi.
You know, how about all the French troops that have been killed in Ukraine?
Yeah.
Don't forget that.
Oh, yeah.
It's already escalated. But that's really not hitting the main media.
Nope. So I'll speak to that comment that was just on the screen, if that's all right. Yeah, if you've read The Art of the Deal, he's a businessman first, and he likes to ask for something completely outrageous to come to the middle and compromise. And that's great. If you're a businessman, that's how you do it. Like I was trying to sell something on Facebook the other day. I was asking an outrageous price and people were trying to outrageously lowball me. And so, eventually people were coming to the middle. I ended up not selling it and keeping it. But that's how you do business, right? All right. That's great. That's not how you protect Second Amendment rights. Let's not forget Trump, with the NRA's encouragement, went around Congress and told them to ban bump stocks, among other things. Told the ATF to come out with the rule. That was just, struck down by the Supreme Court a few weeks ago in Cargill. And we knew it was going to be because of XYZ that it violated, mostly because it violated the APA Act. Trump's a businessman first, but when you're in politics and the job of the American government is to protect the rights of the American people, period. It has no other job than to protect the rights and freedoms of the American people to live the way they want to. Right now, they're the biggest threat to it, in my opinion. So you got to remember, Trump, being a compromising businessman, doesn't see it necessarily the way we do on Second Amendment rights or absolute. He's like, well, we'll give you AR-15s if you give us concealed carry national reciprocity or whatever. That's what Trump's about. You know what I mean? He called while he's in office, he called for a suppressor ban. While he was in office, he called for red flag laws, which I have the video of him saying on my channel. So just because he is what he is, doesn't mean that that's a good thing when it comes to your Second Amendment rights. Or really, red flag laws are not even Second Amendment rights. They're really Fifth Amendment rights, the way they're written. All right. You don't get to have your public and speedy trial before the punishment of your guns getting taken. I'm
gonna play a bit of a devil's advocate, but
okay.
If he could go after a lot more than just the bump stocks. I mean, he was under pressure after the Vegas shooting and all that. And in all the honesty, that seemed like a easiest sacrifice for so they don't go after something major. At least in my opinion. I mean, it's a politics. He's not a politician, but it's a politics, and there's always some dirty shit, some deals going on. As far as the red flag law, as the actual victim of the red flag law in the stupid ass state of New York, it's a little different, and it differs state to state and all that. I mean, there's certain parts I would say instances that something as a red flag law is basically required, to save lives. So the only problem is, how is the stuff implemented? It's the same scenario as in an emergency. We give the government all the power that they need to overcome the emergency, but they're gonna misuse it to do whatever the fuck they want. So
they're doing with it, and I know Hillbilly. What they're doing with it, and I know Hillbilly can understand what I'm about to say. That's punishing the cow because he's seen the fox come in and kill the chicken. You don't punish everybody because a bad dude came in and did something.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so my issue is if somebody's threatening to kill their wife or something like that, where a red flag law is supposedly needed, arrest them for threatening to kill their wife. That's a terroristic threat. That's a crime. The Supreme Court has said many times that threatening speech is not free speech. Okay, many different cases on that. All right. If you say you're going to go do X, Y, Z, they have a right to come arrest you for the threatening of going to do X, Y, Z. They can hold you in jail for 24 or to 72 hours. And if there's no more proof, or if they do have proof. So like the Florida high school shooter. Okay. I'm not going to say his name. Murderer. Let me say murderer, not shooter. He was on YouTube talking as long as I've been talking on here tonight, or this afternoon, telling everybody he was going to go do it. People were watching him live premiere a video that he was going to go do it. And he, lo and behold, he went and did it. And like, it's like red flag laws could be rewritten to be confirmed threat laws. Like if you post something online that you're going to do something, that's a confirmed threat. We are going to come take you and arrest you. Okay. For making a confirmed threat, terroristic threat. Okay. They could be, you know, and then if, you know, with all the AIs and hacking these days, you'd have to have some hard things to prove, but at least you've gotten that guy in jail for 72 hours or 24, however long they can hold you. And that guy did not commit what they were going to commit in the next few days. Right. On the other hand, where I have a problem with red flag laws is the standard one that's been printed and, you know, rewritten and redistributed across all the states for voting is it has an ex parte hearing. And that's where your Fifth Amendment rights are violating. Ex parte, Latin for without the party, EX-PARTE, ex parte. And that simply means that you don't get a right to be there when they decide that the red flag law should be enforced. All right, you don't get a right to stand in front of your accuser, and that's a Fifth Amendment issue. And you know, there have been that guy in Maryland. You know, his wife wanted to get back at him for an argument, got mad, said he threatened her. They killed the guy because he wouldn't give up his guns, and then she said it was false later. Okay, like that scenario has happened across the country. I had a viewer chime in and said they tried to red flag me in California, even though I live in Alaska. My ex lives in California, and they tried to impress the red flag laws on me. The local police here came to his house to enforce it. And he goes, no, that's a California law. You can't enforce that. Here's my law. Here's a card to my lawyer. And then he didn't see him again. Like, so like, even then, like, it's just, people don't understand, like, you don't have the right to, if you are doing something that they want to take your guns for, you should be arrested before they take your guns. You should be arrested and, you know, brought up on charges and all that kind of stuff. And then, that's the thing. All right. Why would you take the guy's guns and leave him in the house? That's what red flag laws do. And there's no, you know, it's take the guns first, due process later, which is not due process. You can't have due process later and call it due process. So it turns the Fifth Amendment and the Second Amendment into a second class right. And I just have a problem. I will not vote for anybody on principle. I wrote in Rand Paul last election. I wrote it in. I don't care if that, you know, that didn't waste my vote in the least because the rest of my state voted for Trump. So like that didn't waste my vote. I voted on my principles. All right. Did I have a chance of winning? Absolutely not. Did I know that? Yes. I was going to stick to my guns. I'm not going to vote for somebody who advocates red flag laws. All right. And it's just kind of the way it is.
With all due,
I don't know if y'all.
I was going to say, with all due respect, I mean, I heard what you said earlier about you didn't vote, you know, for either party last year or last election. You're not going to vote for any party this election. But you sure have a lot to say and putting down, you know, I mean, you have your issues with Trump and the red flag law, and I understand that. But what you're not coming up with is with a suggestion or some way around this. We literally have two people to vote for.
Correct. I would encourage everybody, as my suggestion, to write in Senator Rand Paul and Congressman Thomas Massey as a vice president. That's my solution. And if you're not willing to do it, you're not a true 2A patriot. That's what I'm saying. All right. You're willing to compromise on red flag law. And not you, you're willing to compromise on red flag laws. That's not standing up for the Constitution. Okay. That's my way around it. You can do what you want to. I'm not judging you. I don't hate you, hillbilly. It's the first time I met you.
I don't hate you either, buddy. I just met you. You seem like a great guy.
Yeah. But that's I am who I am. And like, I don't apologize for my bullshit. So,
yeah,
so I get it.
Elastic, as long you can say anything you want, as long as you don't own a Glock.
Hey, I'm actually selling a Glock because it doesn't work.
Imagine that. Look at that. A Glock doesn't work.
One out of my 6 clocks. At least it's not a Taurus where they like 80% of them break. So no, I get it. Like my solution would be, and I've told people this many times on my channel, is like, I'm writing in Rand Paul. That's the solution. Thomas Massey is the vice president. That's the solution. Those two should have ran on the libertarian ticket. They should run on a pro-freedom, pro-life libertarian ticket. The problem with it is most libertarians aren't pro-life, and they wouldn't have accepted that. But if those two had ran on it, they would have gotten. So if you had a ticket like that, there'd be enough votes where the third party could get into the debates. It used to be that you only had to get 5% of the vote the previous election to get into the debate. Well, now because in the last 2 elections, some states had places where the libertarians got 4 or 3.8 or 4.2%, or there was one place where the libertarians had close to 5%. It was like 4.8, 4.9, and it was about the same margin that Trump lost by in that state. So imagine that, red flag laws made Trump lose that state. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I believe there was voter fraud and all that kind of stuff too. But then after that 4.2 or 4.8 or something that they had, they changed it to 15%. You had to get 15% of the vote to be in the thing. And so I don't consider like voting third party a waste of your vote, because if you can convince enough people to do it, then you could get in the debate. And once you get in the debate, all bets are off, because they would. But the other thing about it is, sorry, I'll shut up in a minute. The other thing about it is, though, they changed the rules so that a third party wouldn't be able to do that when they changed it from 5 to 15%. And of course, that's like the networks who sponsor the debate. That has nothing to do with government.
Well, there's a lot more to it there too, though, because you got to remember that it all comes down to huge donations and who's backing this person, who's doing that, and all the backdoor deals and all the rest of it.
Oh,
so you can write in for someone else, and even if they got that 15% and got on there, they're going to have a hard time without the backers. So, and if they're not willing to sit there and comply with what some of these places are asking for, and all these lobbyists and all the rest of it, they're not going to get anywhere. You got to remember, man, the system is rigged to a certain degree as to how all this plays out.
Oh, I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that at all.
There'll never be a third party grab traction in this country because of the fact of runoffs. And do I think we should have a third party? Absolutely. Do I think that if you vote for a third party candidate, you're throwing your vote away? I do. Absolutely. At this particular point in time and point in history, what's got to happen is these people that are third party, like you, Alaskan, I understand what's going on. My son was there, and I love him, and I love his ideas, and I love his exuberance, his zeal for the politics that he believes in. But at the same time, if you want to make a difference, you're going to have to do it from within one of the two current parties.
That's why. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, why? Like, if you picture everything like it's called, you got your centered, and you got to your left, you got to your right. Do you know why there's really not a third or fourth party that divides that left side? Because they will not let it happen, because they know if that ever happens, then they will never win again. But when you go from center to the right, there's people says, just different deals. And so that divides the votes. And so the left side knows that, and they will never let that happen, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I agree with you 100% there. Like, there was a while back when, the African-American church wanted to start stepping away and say, hey, we can't allow gay marriage. And they're like, no, just don't break the party. Okay, we'll take care of you. Just don't break the party. And that's not to say that all African Americans that go to church believe that. That's absolutely not true. or are Democrats. That's, neither here nor there. But they wanted to keep the AME Church and most of its priests and stuff in the Democratic Party. You're absolutely right. The people that want a third party are mostly libertarian conservatives that want freedom. And they realize the rhinos, including Trump, don't protect that. And so the people that want a third party are kind of a small minority like me. It's 1 out of 9 here. So I get it.
Well, we're about halfway through here, and I think I want to get into speculation time. So the question on speculation time here is going to be, if that was not Trump at the podium, but if it was Biden, what would we be seeing right now? And the first person I'd like to hear from is JH.
Okay, before we do that, we are halfway through. Can you run through the side chat, brother?
I absolutely can if YouTube allows me, and it's not allowing me. For some oddball reason, it has actually cleared my YouTube feed screen and will not allow me to refresh it.
Wow. All right. Hillbilly, you got the side chat up?
Yes, sir. Would it be easy for somebody to type something in real quick? That way,
yeah, absolutely.
People, if it's not said nothing, they could get a shout out.
Yep, go for
it. Jamie, what should they type in, brother?
Trump.
Okay. Now, y'all know that I can't pronunciate that great, so if I mispronunciate your name, don't be mad at me. So far we got Edward Petty, CW Longshot, Daniel, got it as my judge, Bam and Dad, Abigail, Viejo, Tactical Fud, Kyle, James Pollard, Backwards Law, Garage Guy, Tim S, Ozzy Osbourne, Andy 79 1996, Justin Grimm, Rodder 204, Uncle Jim 2. And we'll see some more come in here. Hopefully I hadn't missed anybody. We got Fuzzfork 8 out there too. I know there's way more people watching this than that, guys. Maybe you just didn't want to hear me mispronounce your name, but all right. So far, we got Hobbies Hobo. I think that's about everybody so far. It's put something in out there, buddy. Bama Dad. But, yep, I believe so far that's about everybody.
There's Alaskan Ballistics back.
Ah, there you go. Newark Outcast was out of salad. Imagine that. I bet there's a Glock in that salad somewhere.
No, he's a M&P guy.
I know. Oh boy. Also, Scotsman, do you mind real quick while we're waiting on maybe a few other people to throw theirs in if I say something about my video I put out today?
He's not here, so yeah, go ahead.
Okay, well, good. Well, he's not here, then that's even better.
He'll be right back.
Yeah. Well, guys, we all know and love Scotsman. He's done so much for this community. Anytime that somebody's had trouble, what we got going on there?
Oh crap!
Somebody's trying to share our own screen. Oh, Alan, you having troubles, buddy? Or what's going on there?
Yeah, like I said, YouTube just doesn't want me to see anything.
At least for 30 seconds. And
But anyway, you might not know it, but Scotsman's been in a lot of pain. He's having some health issues, and the guy is a hard worker, and he's not been able to work. If he does, it's very light duty, and plus he's seeing a chiropractor quite often to try to help get this resolved. So we are doing a fundraiser for the Weasel himself because he is the one that most usually is doing, for everybody else. And so, you know, we've invited anybody that's other creators or whatever to, throw a video out there and stuff. And we're going to be raising some money from Scotsman. You can get a hold of me, American Hillbilly Up at Gmail. If you want to help, and we're going to be doing I'm going to try to get some stuff together, and I know a few other people probably will jump in there too, but for everybody that helps and donates something, we're going to be doing some giveaways for that to, say thanks for that. And it'll probably be a couple weeks out, maybe 3 weeks out. We'll see where we get. And we'll just do those giveaways probably on Guns Burn Therapy or something. But anyway, appreciate you guys. Show Scotsman some love for all he's done for this community. So anyway, thanks a lot, guys.
Well, I got half a bottle of
Yeah,
vodka.
speculation time. So speculation time. If Trump was not the one behind the podium and it was Joe Biden behind that podium, what would we be seeing now that would be different? JH, I'd like to hear from you first, sir.
Okay, I'll give you an example. You guys don't know this because you don't watch CBS News. So when Trump put his first comment after the assassination attempt on Truth Social, and y'all all know what it was because y'all heard it broadcast. So CBS News reports it as Trump is already boasting of his wounds. That's the way CBS News covered that.
Wow.
So if he said exactly what I saw on Fox News when I was watching the coverage of the event. But I think that if it'd been Biden up there, and hopefully he wouldn't have been hit either in a fatal way. But what you see on the news would be totally different because I believe, and just from that snippet from CBS News, I believe that the left wing media is still bashing Trump. I don't think they've let up on this at all. I think they are still full of venom. And I believe that if Biden had been the one behind the podium, it would just be boiling over. I think what you'd see on the left wing would just be pure venom up against the shooter. And I tell you, the people that I feel most for, obviously, is the man and the family who lost the man who lost his life while he was protecting his family. But I feel equally almost as bad for the shooter's family because they obviously had no idea what's going on in this young man's mind or heart. And I think it's a sad situation that a 20-year-old man would throw his life away like that, and so being so misguided. So I will be praying for the man who lost his life. I'll be praying for his family. I'll be praying for the 2 wounded men and their family, but I'll also be praying for the shooter's family, because Lord only knows what kind of abuse they're going to be subjected to in the days, weeks, months, and years ahead. But I'm just, I really believe, Alan, that things played out the way they did because God knew that Trump was who he is, that he could take it. And I just think God had his hand on Trump, protecting him during that attempt on his life.
Amen.
Bo, what you got?
I think the left would have been outraged and you would have seen a bunch of stuff, but it would also settle a lot about them trying to get Biden to step down and so they can replace him with Gavin Newsom.
Yep.
I mean, that's besides all the turmoil that would be going on. But I think they, deep down, the left up there in the higher ups would be relieved because then they'd have a rallying point and a pretty boy to stand up on stage.
Absolutely. Well said.
All right. Billy, your thoughts?
Yeah. For one, I believe it was Joe Biden. There would be protests going on now and buildings being burnt and stuff being broke into. Probably, I'm guessing. I don't know. I would hate that if something like that would happen. But myself personally, and I assume most of the people here, regardless of their personal feelings, would still be kind of having the same conversations we've been having about that is not right. That cannot, this stuff cannot happen, here on, U.S. soil, or a, running official. That's just, regardless of who it would have been, taken out, if it was Biden or whoever, that's just a no-no. That's not right.
Yep. CW, your thoughts?
Pretty much what everybody said. It's absolutely, for certain, would be the mirror image of what's going on right now. All the condemnation towards Trump would be proclamation towards Biden, and it would be falling over in that respect. And we know there's a double standard, and we know we live with it all the time.
Yep. Yeah, and I agree with Hillbilly, and I think that there'd be a lot of protesting going on and burning and a lot of different things going on there as well. But I also think on that end of it, there would be a lot more calls for gun control flying from the far left real fast versus as now we'll see it, but it's going to be a couple of days before we see it.
Well, we've already seen a bit of it. I mean,
yeah,
within the first 20 minutes, they were talking about, well, you see, this is why civilians should not own assault rifles and blah 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 blah, on some of the communist news networks.
Yeah. Val, your thoughts?
No, pretty much whatever you guys said. There would be a peaceful protest going on. A lot of looting, and some major gun control bill would be probably on a Senate floor by now.
All right, Mark, your thoughts?
Well, it's pretty much all been said. I believe the media would be acting a little bit differently, and if it had been Biden up there, I'm sure they would say something like, Well, the shooter was probably the type of person that broke into the Capitol on January 6th and, trying to throw some blame over Trump's way for having, overzealous supporters, that kind of thing. The media is always, they're in favor of one side and totally against the other. It's obvious in this case.
All right. Chuck, your thoughts?
As I understand the question was if everything was the same, but Biden was the one who got a near miss on the ear and not Trump. That's the question. What would be happening? And here's the thing: Biden wouldn't have died from the miss on his ear, but he would have died from all the Secret Service agents tackling him. So, like, he would not have survived. Like, he couldn't have fallen down, and he'd have a knee busted at least, and some bruising and stuff like that. And so, like, that Secret Service agent that couldn't do her job would have killed him by trying to reholster her gun or whatever. If you've seen that video, the lady who was first day on the job can't holster her gun. Y'all have seen that, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and it's that's what would have happened. Sorry to say, but he would have survived the gunshot wound and been killed when he got tackled by Secret Service agents because he's so frail. That's what would have happened. Sorry, that's my opinion. Everybody else has said the same. Everything else I agree with, but yeah.
Well, maybe they need some stairs there for him to fall up on.
Oh. Too soon. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, that's good. Hillbilly, that's good, dude. That's good.
No, very, very shortly after I seen a headline, and I believe it came out of CNN online news, that read security service had to assist Donald Trump after he fell.
Oh yeah, that's been big.
Yeah, he stumbled. They said that was what they said, and they tackled him after he stumbled or something was there. Pretty much exact wording.
And I mean, when you watch the thing,
Trump grabbed his ear and went down.
Yeah,
Tyson come in and chewed on it probably.
I was surprised that they didn't put up the Secret Service had to show him how to get off the stage.
Well, and that's the thing. If you pay attention, the two guys are standing there kind of in limbo, and the woman, I'll give her credit. She was standing right in front of Trump and trying to maneuver, but the two guys were kind of just standing there, kind of blocking. They definitely could have got him off the stage a lot faster.
I agree.
Yeah, they could have. And in all actuality, security detail, you don't allow your VIP to tell you what you do and what you don't do. The fact is you're just a meat bag that they're protecting. You are the VIP, but you don't get to call the shots in that situation. It was already announced by the service threat down, and so that's when at that point that's when Trump said, "Hey, let me get my shoes." And then they allowed him to not only do that, but then he was like, wait, and they allowed him to give the fight symbols that we've seen out of him on that particular incident. VIPs, as VIP detail, these are two things that slowed that whole situation down. But at that point, they had already received threat down.
So the snipers that let me get this because y'all know far more details than I do. The snipers had already engaged by the time he was down on the ground. That's
correct. There was a total of 7 shots, 2 shots by the shooter. At that point, they were bringing him down, and the rest of the shots came out, and that was all there was. So before they even began to move from the stage and at any point, they had already had the threat down call.
I think that's a hell of a job by the Secret Service snipers then.
Now,
did you hear the guy with the red hair get that interview? That he's the one that said he's seen the sniper or the guy on the roof with the gun. They're yelling and pointing. And anyway,
Yeah, the red beard.
Yeah, red beard and red hair. And he made the comment, and he goes, "They blew his damn head off." And the reporter goes, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! Don't say that." And he goes, "Well, they did." He wasn't going anywhere.
Wasn't there a person in this chat room right now that was reading a post from one of the snipers?
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Before you got here.
So, Alan, I want to hear your opinion on your question about what would it be different if it were Joe Biden.
Oh, it would be extreme pandemonium. Extreme pandemonium. We would be seeing riots all over the country. It would just be absolute chaos. They would be calling for arrests for Trump because he had to have had something to do with it. It would be absolute pandemonium, in my opinion. It would be a complete shit show.
I don't doubt that. Here's another question. Given
I don't
that
think Val got to go yet. Have you, Val?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I stepped away. I apologize.
No problem. Here's my question then. Given that this has boosted Trump's image, and people that were on the fence before are no longer on the fence and they're voting for him, given the fact that he had a landslide margin according to most polls beforehand, and the fact that the Democrats want to take Biden out of the race because he's so feeble and frail, do you think they attempt this on Biden to attempt a near assassination on Biden to get him to win? What do you think? Because nothing's out of the realm now, right?
I highly, highly doubt that to happen. I mean, in the past 2 weeks, we've had Vladimir Putin state that what is good for Russia is for Biden to win the election. And so I really, really don't think the Democrats are going to try to do anything against Biden in that form. Now, what we've traditionally seen from one side of the court, we'll say, is how they get you out is the first thing they do is they start blaming you for everything and anything under the sun, calling you all kinds of names under the book, smearing you all over the media, and then they drag you through court systems and legal systems and everything else. And when that doesn't work, they immediately go to violence. And we've seen this so many times that it's a pattern now. And so for them to do the same thing virtually against their own, I wouldn't necessarily say that wouldn't happen. Could they possibly throw him under the bus in order to get him out of the race? I do think that's possible if there's enough people that want enough that pony up.
Hey, Alan, will you text me where you got that quote from Putin when you're done with the chat or whatever? I want to see that. That's cool.
That was done in a speech of his like 2 weeks ago. He did a speech, and afterwards he was doing some interviewing, and he was asked specifically if who would be better for relations with Russia, who would be the better president in the United States to have better relations with Russia, I believe was the question. And that was done by a foreign media company. I'll have to totally dig up that reference.
Okay, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Chico's right. It's going to be a rough few months coming up, so just be aware of what's going on around you.
There was also
Okay, another question.
There was also a comment where Putin said that basically something on the lines where he mentioned that if the Trump's elected and Trump said he has a plan how to end the war in Ukraine, and Putin said that he applauds him for that, and he would be willing to entertain some discussion about that he's not sure how Trump plans on doing that, but he'd be interested in entertaining the idea. So
all right, I had to jump off. Have a good night, man.
Just real quick, I have a question. Should I reload my once fired Hornady brass or my twice fired Remington brass?
What caliber? What cartridge?
300 Winchester Magnum.
Well, what is the brass measuring out here prior to reload?
Just under the trim length.
Are they all at the same length?
Yeah, they're pretty much both the same length.
What's the problem? Load them all.
The difference in the casing's quality, I think the Remington's a little bit better quality, but it's just a test load.
Well, you just keep them separate. One box for Remington, one box for the other.
That sounds good. It's a small test load though, because Reloading Weatherby sent me some of these to play around with. It's a half a box. There we go. I've never played with these before, so reloaded all.
Diego agrees with me. Reload them all.
I tell you what, I need more of up here. I need more of these bullets right here. If anybody knows any? Can I show this on a live chat? Oh, it doesn't matter. I guess I am, but M80A1, 130 grain. That's what I need right there. M80A1.
What's the
diameter? 100 Win Mag.
Yeah, I have those suckers at a 28-inch barrel and Reloader 17. They're going 37.82.
Yeah.
In 300 Win Mag. If they don't go through your level 4 plate, they'll have a softball size back face deformation.
That's crazy fast.
Oh, what I want to do is find somebody who will give me an old car where the engine runs, but I have to tow it to wherever I shoot and see if I can shoot how many of those it would take to shoot and make the old car stop. Problem is, the only person I know with an old car is me, and I got to still drive it.
You sound too much like a school teacher.
Those dang school teachers.
Driving them old cars.
I'd like to apologize, folks. Right after my latest comments, for some reason, I was forcefully had to reboot my computer.
They're on to you, man. They're watching you.
The heat's getting to you.
I know. I know I'm on a list, but I mean, come on now.
They're probably outside your apartment.
Well, there goes the beagle.
So I was talking to a lady who we were at this gun rights planning committee rally that we got invited to, or somehow got invited to. So I was talking to this lady, and she said my internet was just going slow, and it was breaking down and breaking down. And finally, I said, "Quit listening to me, feds." She heard something pull away from her door, like by her door in the street, like a car screeching, and her internet got faster.
Isn't that amazing?
It's amazing.
Stay tuned and watch. You'll see.
Well, if I search open Wi-Fi signals, there is a signal that says DEA SUV, but I don't think they have anything to do with me.
Sorry,
I used to name I changed it a while back, but naming my Wi-Fi deal was called "Get Your Own Damn Internet."
So, Daniel, what was Maggie up to?
She was barking at a cat, and I had to go take the shocker collar off so she could go get it.
good dog.
Yeah. Trained really good there. I hope Fuzzy's still in the house.
Yeah.
We got some General Tso chicken coming tonight.
Get that rice. I got a full bottle of sweet and sour and a bag full of rice.
I was going to make a comment, but that was too good.
So what platform are you shooting 300 Win Mag? Bolt action?
Yes, for now. I'm shooting and I hate it. I'm shooting a Weatherby Vanguard First Light. It's an 8.5 pound gun. So obviously you hate the recoil of an 8.5 pound gun. The muzzle brake does a really good job. It's a tapered, fairly thin tapered barrel, and it's fluted. And so it's very light. Like to shoot groups, I shoot one shot, wait 5 minutes, and put a rifle cooler in it because that barrel's going to heat up. Unless, of course, it's -5 out, and then I'm probably not shooting anyway these days. I'm getting lazier and lazier. I used to film videos in -15, and now I won't go shoot in -5. Yeah, it's that's what I'm doing. And so here's my problem with the rifle. I can have 2 shots that are touching inside each other, and I'm always going to have a third shot away. There's always a third shot flyer, and it's not necessarily a third shot. Sometimes it's the second shot, and the first and third shots are touching. And a viewer was telling me if that's happening with every kind of ammo, it's the ignition system in your bolt, that something's loose in there, and you got to get a gunsmith to tighten it up. So I don't know. Have y'all heard that before? I mean, this guy buys and creates more custom rifles than I could ever afford to think about. But yeah, y'all heard any of that before?
My reaction would be it's a bedding problem.
Yeah, did that information come from Chuk?
Absolutely not. No, Chuk isn't that smart.
I'd have to agree with CW. It'd probably be more of a bedding issue, how it's sitting in the stock.
Yeah, I don't see how the ignition problem caused that.
Now, you're just going to have to take the gun completely apart and totally rebuild it with a synthetic stock and clean it.
It is a synthetic stock.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it's a synthetic stock, and it's supposed to be pillar bedded already, but you know how they...
The problem is with pillar bedding from the factory, you can almost guarantee it's never done right.
I don't disagree.
Have you checked your torque on the screws and adjusted it? Because sometimes that makes a difference.
Yes, I did. I checked it. They're supposed to be 34 inch-pounds. When I went to do it, one was completely out of whack. Like I could spin it with my finger, put my pinky in the hole and spin it. I tightened it up, got it all right. Still doing the same thing. Same thing with the screws, the base screws for the scope and the screws on top of the scope. I've rechecked all of those thinking, oh, there's one that was 1 pound off. Nope, that wasn't that.
If it is truly pillar bedded, I would go by the torque rating for the screw, not by the factory.
Okay.
Because you're not, think about what you're doing. You're compressing a piece of aluminum. It's not going to compress. So you're going to be at the rating for the bolt, the threads, the size of the bolt, the torque for that nut, that fastener, I should say.
Yeah.
So
Here's the
it gives you
thing. I
50,
love the
60
gun.
bucks.
It's 8.5 pounds and it can kill anything in Alaska. So, last year I was hunting with my 6.5 by 284, and as much as I love that gun, it's my most accurate gun. And here's another question I'll have for you guys. It's a Savage 111, 6.5 by 284. I killed my moose with it last year. All right. So anybody that says a 6.5 can't kill anything is an idiot, but that's what 100 feet per second faster than a Creedmoor, and it took down a moose at 200 yards. I made a bad first shot. That was me. Second shot, I did the high shoulder, dropped the moose light there. He collapsed. And then I had to put another shot when I got up to him because he was, high shoulder shot doesn't kill quickly. And I feel bad about that because it took me 20 minutes to get all my stuff ready and cross the swamp that I had to wear waders to get across because moose live in swamps, right? It's like duck hunting, except bigger. Anyway, this 6.5 by 284, get this. I cleaned it all out, and I haven't had the problem since. And I have a dummy round. I haven't been able to make the problem. It's a Savage 111. This 6.5 by 284. When I close the bolt on a live round, sometimes the safety won't turn on. I can't move the safety. Excuse me. Yeah, I can't move the safety from fire all the way back into the middle position or into the safe position. Sometimes, and when it does that, occasionally it'll lock the accu trigger, and you just got to keep working the bolt until it decides not to do that. I took it apart, cleaned it. It like I can't get it to do it again, but I'm not trying it on live rounds either. Like I haven't gone to the range and just tried feeding and racking live rounds to see if it's done it. It was my favorite rifle because it's my most accurate rifle, even though it's just a cheap pencil barrel 111.
First thing I'd say is if you're comfortable enough, take that whole bolt apart and go right through the whole thing because something's binding up somewhere.
Did you take your trigger out?
Yes. Yeah, I took the trigger out. I'm not comfortable enough with the bolt. I've been able to not get a Savage bolt back together. It's hard.
Yeah, that pin is. But
is this happening with reloads and factory ammo, or just one of those two?
That's a great question. I only shoot reloads through it. So maybe I should try factory ammo. It is not currently happening with my dummy round. I have a dummy round, same bullet, same length, just no powder, no primer.
Try it with a box of factory loads, and right there, that'll tell you there's something with your reloading process on that caliber.
Did you watch any of my videos on my problems with the 6506?
No, sir. Sorry.
What I found on one of them, and it's a problem, but it wasn't my problem, but it could relate to your problem. And that is that the bolt itself, the very back of the bolt itself, if you take your firing pin firing mechanism out, so it's just the bolt body, the back of the bolt rides over top of the trigger. And when you close it, it's in front of it. What I was finding was the front of it does nothing. It does nothing. The front of the trigger that sticks up, that your bolt rides over, does nothing. But on mine, because it's aftermarket and it's a 75, 80-year-old rifle, the relationship of those two parts was not kosher. I had to grind a bevel and reduce its thickness by about 15 thousandths because it was dragging and riding. And if you're really close and you're getting your bolt to push back with a live round, your bolt comes back and sets up at 100% zero headspace.
Right.
Because you're not bumping shoulders and all that. Everything is really tight in your chamber. That could be enough to push against that front of the trigger, which could lock up something in your safety. So I would say pull the back of your bolt apart. I'm pretty sure you can do that in the Savage. I don't have one in front of me.
I think so.
And you just run the bolt in it and then put a live round in. You got no fire. You got no firing pin. You got nothing. It can't fire. Close the bolt and see if you can make it, or see if you can see that there's some interference running there between the back of the bolt itself and the front of your trigger. And maybe you can put the trigger in You know, you put a scope on your rifle, you mount the scope on, and then you push it forward, then you tighten it down. If you put your trigger in and pull it back and snug it down to increase that distance, maybe. I'm just, without seeing it, I'm just throwing ideas out, see what sticks to the wall.
We can't show it on YouTube. Can I show the bolt on YouTube? Can I show
It's
the
not a
bolt only?
firearm. It's not a firearm. Alan or Scotsman would make the call.
Yeah, if it's just
Yeah,
a
that's
bolt,
a part. You're good. You're good to show the part.
This one's probably getting it pulled down anyway.
Yeah. All right. I'll be right back.
I want to go back.
Yeah,
to
YouTube will more than likely cut it down. American Hillbilly up. If you're comfortable enough in the private chat, you mind putting your full name and phone number? And I threw a hashtag in there. I'm not sure if you want to roll with or not.
Yeah, you bet. I'll put that in there.
What's up, Jamie?
In the private chat, I wouldn't.
The statute
recommend
limitations
putting
are up.
it
He's
live.
Yeah, not in the side chat, Hillbilly, in the private chat. I was going to say I wanted to go back and talk about the 300 Win Mag with the one flyer and a 3-shot group there.
All right, hang on, Chuck. You get me up there. All right, there you go.
So this is I can't. There we go. You can put an Allen key in the back of here. And then the thing that's really hard about these bolts is getting this spring back into a cocked position.
Yep.
It's so difficult. I've had to send the bolt back to Savage before on my ex-wife's gun.
Yeah, I fight with it too.
Yeah, that's the part I don't want to do. And to be honest with you, I want to use this gun caribou hunting because it's my most accurate gun. Literally, I think with Hornady SSTs, I had a 0.22 inch group. Center hole to center hole, and which SSTs suck for hunting up here. They're horrible. So I went with
they're soft.
Yeah, I went with Barnes LRX, and I got a 0.28 inch group, and I'm like, well, that's not enough difference to matter. So yeah.
Is it a factory trigger, Chuck?
Yes, it's a factory Accu trigger. No Accu stock, just the Accu trigger.
Yeah, those bolts are a pain in the butt to put back together. I've done it a few times, and it takes a minute to do them. They're not an easy one to put back together, but it's doable. They're just a pain in the butt.
Yeah, they
You know, Chuck, you can always get your meat like a normal person and just go and buy it. You killer.
Well, I guess you're not getting invited over for the moose steak feast.
I got the news for you. There's no goddamn way I'm going all the way to goddamn Alaska just for the meat. I don't care how good the meat is.
Chuck, I will be in Alaska next summer sometime.
Oh, if you don't call me and hook me up and look me up, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah, you're supposed to hook me up. Maybe I might tell the wife I got to stick around for a couple more weeks to go out and play in some small plane.
Okay.
Hey,
yeah.
Rick from Easy 6 Covered is in Alaska.
Oh,
he's on the way. Oh no, I don't know if he's there yet. He was actually driving there.
Oh, I need to go over and talk to him. I hadn't talked to them in forever. So
yeah, just look him up on Instagram. He's posting his journey. He just decided in the spur of the moment to go shoot some match in Alaska.
Cool.
Let's go briefly back because we're running out of time. Let's briefly go back to the 300 Win Mag. One flyer and a 3-shot group. Number 1, shoot 5-shot groups. Number 2, how is your cheek weld and how is the scope? When you put the rifle, when you get behind the rifle, does your face fall directly on right there, lined up?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yes. Yes.
Right. That can be an issue, particularly if your scope is high and not as low as it can be to the bore. You can get those one-shot flyers like that.
Yeah, I absolutely have it as low as it can physically be to the bore because I have a short, fat face. So
I do too.
yeah,
That's a Georgia thing, ain't it?
it's a Georgia thing, and I'm still ugly. You know.
All I can say is if your scope is high, you need to smoke less weed.
Well,
Say
you
that
are
again.
talking about a 300 Win Mag. There is the flinch factor
Oh yeah.
because you
I'm
are
gonna be
getting
honest with you.
hammered.
The muzzle brake on this gun and the recoil pad do incredible. I'm getting over 4,000 foot-pounds of energy with certain loads, and I get that with my 338 Win Mag, which has a custom muzzle brake on it and all this other stuff. And is a much heavier gun, and my 300 kicks way less than my 338. It's like not even like with both of them with 180 or 185 grain, both of them with 200 grain. The 300 kicks way less.
It should.
So,
It
yeah.
should.
It should, but it's also like 4 pounds lighter, 3 pounds lighter, 3 pounds lighter than the 338. And they're both getting the same foot-pounds of energy out the barrel, which means the recoil should be relatively close if the guns were the same. I'm not saying it should be perfectly close, but like it should be relatively close, and like it's not, you know. So
Do you not have a 270?
I do own a 270. It is my wife's. She hasn't hunted for a few years because we have small children. So I really haven't done any load development for it, and I don't plan on doing it in the next 2 weeks before my hunt.
Well,
And I hate the 270.
That quick. Oh, you hate it? It's a caribou.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it's a great round for caribou. Don't get me wrong, and it's been a great round. All the thing. I just I hate the 270. I've never had one. Following the lands, chasing the lands. I know other people say chase the nodes, but I've never had a 270 where I can shoot half-inch groups or better, chasing the lands where the round wasn't longer than the magazine. I've never had one. The throat erosion is terrible, and 6.5 PRC beats it to smack these days if you could get the right powder. So, like, there's no literal point to buy a 270 these days. Besides, 270 is like 30-06 for women.
Oh, Jamie, get him, Jamie. Get him, Jamie.
270 is the greatest round ever conceived by man.
There it is.
Just ask Walks Fletcher. He'll tell you. He tells us every week.
Oh.
And I know 30-06 won 2 world wars, but let's be real.
You can load a 30-06 with one of these. I had them sitting right here. One of these Barnes 130 grains and get about 150 feet per second more than the 270. In fact, I can beat 270 with the 130 grain Barnes in 308. We were getting 3216 out of my camera guys M1A. 3216 with a 130 grain Barnes, 308 Winchester. And we were 0.7 grains away from max.
But that's too light of a bullet to use on big game.
No, it's a Barnes bullet, so the construction's heavy. Like you wouldn't want to use it on. Like I killed my moose last year with the 127 grain LRX. So bullet construction is trumps bullet weight every time. So.
I just want to say something real quick, Jamie. You talked about 30-06 winning 2 world wars. Winchester Model 12 helped win one of those.
That's true.
Yep. All right, folks, we'll start going through the room. We're getting close to that time, so we'll start going through the room. Chuck, what you got coming up? Anything, man?
Yeah, I have a why I'm picking 308 over 6.5 Creedmoor video coming out. I just released a clear ballistics gel test on the best 9mm hollow point, which I was really surprised on. Like a lot of hollow points you'd think would perform. Everybody says 9mm is great with modern bullets, and it kind of sucked.
Here's a surprise.
So, yeah, it was kind of surprising. Yeah, big surprise, huh?
Yeah.
So I'm going to do the same thing with clear ballistics. I got a best 10mm coming up. So Best 10 millimeter bear defense with clear ballistics gel coming up. So that's it.
You gonna test some cast bullets?
Yeah, actually, I plan on loading yours that I haven't touched for 2 years because I'm a lazy ass mother.
Chuck, I've got a 245 grain now.
I ain't testing that in my Glocks. It'll blow it up.
I'm shocked. It's not that long. It's only a whisker longer than a 200, but it's got a wide flat point, so I don't know if it's going to feed.
Yeah. I have that 10 millimeter Banshee now. I did so much content with it. CMMG decided just to give it to me. I had to send a W9 in. Yeah. So, which I haven't told anybody yet, but I did like 8 videos with it and they loved it and said, thanks, showed flaws in it too. Like I wasn't like, so that's going to be fun, but it really likes, those CKB hard cast bullets that I got from CKB Cast Bullets. And I love his bullets. Ken makes some really good bullets, and they just feed better than Underwood or Buffalo Bore in Glocks. So, and I want to get a 10 millimeter that's not a Glock. I just haven't decided which one yet. The SIG doesn't fit me. The Tangfolio is too hard to find up here. I'm thinking about a Gerson 6-inch Gerson just to see if it'll hold up to the bears. If it don't, I'll just send it back in for warranty. So.
Look at the knee plat on this thing.
Oh yeah, that's a little not
huge,
that's not too bad.
But it's really not that giant of a bullet. Here's a 200. It's not that much longer.
No, it's not really. Yeah. I actually like those 180 grain hard cast in mine. They seem to run great. So I'm just going to stick with those. They penetrate really well.
180 or 190, I think, is perfect bullet weight.
I agree.
All right. Well, appreciate you being here, man. Val, what you got, man?
Well, thanks for having me. JH, I actually bought one of those KWA inline compensators. It's on my 300 blackout, so there's going to be something eventually for that. And I kind of went on the whole new rabbit hole, reloading 300 blackout. So kind of in love with that. That's about all I got. Everybody have a nice week.
Appreciate you being here, brother. Good seeing you. Daniel, what you got, man?
A case of jealousy, big time. See, Emma, they gave you a Banshee. Because we're looking at going to Alaska next year. We're going to spend some time out there in the brush. So my wife already got a 10 millimeter. She bought the MMP. And I just wanted to get her goat. And they got this 10 millimeter Banshee on the wall. And I held it up there and I grinned at her just to see if I could get her goat. And a week later, she went to some ladies shoot and she got to shoot one in 10 mil. And she has no problem with me buying that thing right now. And they gave you one.
So I requested one, and I had to sign a contract to send it back within 100 days for all the testing stuff. It got here, and for the next 4 weeks, it was like -27. All right, and I would go shooting -27. That doesn't bother me. The cameras won't roll in -27. There's batteries that die, and you guys could imagine, right? So, I mean, the cameras don't roll in 15 degrees. You know how that works, but that's just 30 degrees lower. But yeah, so as soon as that got warmed, I went and made a bunch of videos. I think it was 8 degrees when I first shot it, and it runs like a sewing top, man. But the heavier loads require a different buffer. And I can tell you one thing, if you're looking at running really heavy loads in that Smith & Wesson, I had a lot of fails in the Smith & Wesson M&P. I got a video on it, and I don't care if you watch my video or not, but there's a lot of comments on which springs to replace and who to get them from to make that thing run with the heavy loads. Because a lot of those Smith & Wesson M&Ps will not run with the heavy loads. I had to ship my 9 millimeter Smith & Wesson M&P back because it wasn't running with at all. It wasn't resetting the trigger all the time. So those M&Ps are, those M&Ps are the reason why people buy Glocks up here. Sorry, Scotsman, I just had to say that. But the XDM is a better gun than the Glock 20. I said it. You heard me say it. It's not a better gun than the Glock 40, but it's a better gun than the Glock 20.
She's going to have to buy factory loads because I'm still waiting for her to buy the dies for that gun. Because in that way, I will already have dies if I get the Banshee.
Well, I will tell you that it's the factory heavy loads that are having the problem. So, like the 200 and the 220 grain Underwoods, the 180 grain SIGs, which are like a full metal jacket that are actually 10 millimeter power. I think it was who was it? Gun Toting Pacifist had a video on that failing. I actually had a failure with Blazer Brass, which that's no doubt, but like that's a low powered round. That's a 180 grain bullet getting 1140 in that gun, or 1120. It's like a 40 Smith & Wesson plus P. So I had a lot of issues with that gun. Now, Smith & Wesson may have corrected them and may run like a sewing machine with Buffalo Bore 220 grain. I don't know. Sorry. But yeah, I would definitely do that. And hey, you're welcome to shoot the Banshee up here. And when we're fishing, you can carry my Banshee, but I'm going to carry my 4570.
Oh, I got a Henry 4570. That's
Me too.
Take down everything on the continent, including everything in the zoo. But
hey, if the car of thugs if it's bothering you, just shoot the engine block. They'll be in the ditch.
Yeah, but that's what I got going on. My wife is buying more guns than I am. Okay, so that's the life at my house. Besides taking care of relatives and all this here happy stuff.
Can you tell when you come up here, you can have your wife talk with my wife about that.
Oh, about relatives, taking care of them?
No, about buying more guns than you do.
Oh, you need some Daniel Love happening in your place to help you out. Okay.
That's right. Yeah. Right. You got my number, Daniel?
You got in the side chat yet? In the private area?
No, I'll put it there.
I can send it to him.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you can all have it. It's cool.
But hey, thanks for having me on the chat, and guys that are in the chat, nice seeing you again, and the folks in the side chat. Pick it up a notch, man. Pick it up a notch. I only giggled a couple times at a couple of the comments. I want to see some. I want the gloves. I want you guys throwing hands out there. No mercy.
All right, appreciate you, man. Jamie, what you got, brother?
I think I'm gonna work on a review of the new Marlin 1894 44 mag lever action. If I get time, I'm going to be out of town this coming week during the middle of the week, but I should be back in time for Georgia Shooting Connection on Friday nights at 8 o'clock. I hope you all join us there and then.
Awesome, man. Appreciate you. CW, what you got?
Oh, I got video a day. I got my shorts coming every other day. And I've got a really good little bitty mini series. Just 2 videos, 3 if you count the occurrence, coming up later this week that I think everybody's going to find interesting. It's a 35 Whalen video, but it could happen with any caliber. And I got some a lot of stuff on the horizon. I'm doing a lot of these challenges, 22 challenges. So I got a lot of those videos. Having a ball with that. Shooting this Ruger Precision rimfire. Having a ball with that. And Hasbro and I are going to have a collaboration coming up, so you can stay tuned with that for that. And enjoyed the chat. Enjoyed talking with all you guys. It was good to see Chuck. I talked to him on email, but I don't get to see him on the live chats very often. He sends me the links. I just never seem to be able to be on. And it was good to see everybody in the side chat. So that's about it. It was a good time.
Awesome, man. Appreciate you being here. Hillbilly, what you got, brother?
Hey, man. First of all, thanks for having me on. Always appreciate it. Fun time, great show. Always appreciate it. And see, we got some videos coming out this week. And then, of course, Saturday night we got Guns Bearing Therapy, 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern. You do nothing, swing by and give us a visit. But one thing I want to stay focused on is for you, Scotsman. I want any of these creators out there, you can do your own thing, whatever. And Alan come out with a great deal there. Hashtag Hill the Weasel. That's awesome. I love it. So I just went over a while ago when we was talking and changed the hashtag on the video I put out earlier to that. And so got some videos, whatever you'd like to do. You can always contact me at American Hillbilly Up at Gmail, and we're gonna get you some help, buddy. And we hit the minimum of $2,000. I expect to raise way more than that, between all of us. But if we hit a minimum of $2,000, sad as I hate to say this, I will drink a hard seltzer on Guns Burn Therapy when we do the giveaway. So
you must enjoy these things.
I don't at all. I enjoy it about as much as Scotsman does, and I think he honestly knows that. But I mean, Scotsman's always been there, first one out to help everybody. And, it's time to, that those seeds that he sowed, come back to him. And so I hope everybody will, I know times are hard, but, even if it's just, a little bit that you can throw that way, and we're going to try to get the money to him just as fast as possible, even though like we'll wait at least 2-3 weeks. We'll see how it's going. But yeah, as that money comes in, we're going to get it right out to him. And, of course, I'll talk to Scotsman too and see, if there's, way that you can send it directly to him or whatever. So we'll try to put all the options out there. If you need to mail a check or money order, or if you need to use something, one of these pay funds like Cash App, PayPal, whatever, we'll get you taken care of. And hopefully we can get some good prizes for the giveaway for all the people that has entered, or not entered, but, that has donated towards that. So anyway, thanks a lot for having me. I appreciate it, brother.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate you being here. And I honestly don't know what to say because I never intended to ever be in this position. So, yeah. Really not sure.
I know you didn't want this. We argued about this last night, and I said it's going to happen regardless. And so,
yeah, I'm a stubborn asshole, and I I'll get through this. But I appreciate it more than you know.
I was texting Scotsman about my biopsy that I had to have in my throat, which is a whole nother story on my thyroid. I was like, if you dare raise any money for me, I'll be pissed off because I have insurance and all that kind of stuff. But but it ended up not being cancerous. So, Craig Scotsman, I'll be praying for you. I hope it heals well, and I'll see what I can do. So,
appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Ryan, can I address this real quick? Let's see, where did he go? Said, is there a raffle? On my part, there's not going to be, but each content creator can do what they want. For me, like if you donate, and hopefully anybody that puts out any videos, whatever, we can get a collection of names. And so regardless if it's $5, $50, $100, whatever it is, we'll get your name in that. And then we're just going to be giving away some prizes. We'll just be doing some random drawings. But, if there's another, content creator that wants to do a raffle, whatever they want to do, the deal is just, help Scotsman out as much as we can.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, man. Alan, want to take us out, right, brother?
Oh, absolutely, man. Great chat. There's chats that we have that don't have much politics. There's some chats that we have that are politic laden. this time slot that was behoved to us was actually typically politics laden, but tonight was an absolutely great chat. Phenomenal panel. Excellent side chat. Glad to hear you all. I do plan on putting out a video as soon as I can get all the supplies for it. And it's how many tea lights does it take to melt a Tesla Cybertruck? So if anybody wants to send me a Tesla Cybertruck, I think I got enough money to get a bunch of tea lights, and we can see what it takes to actually melt a Tesla Cybertruck with tea light candles. But other than that, I want to remind everybody to keep them magazines loaded and one in the chamber. Woo!